Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's economic and tax policies in focus with just 13 days to go until voters head to the polls on Election Day. The Wall Street Journal editorial board writes this: Mr. Trump's overall economic agenda is superior to Kamala Harris's model of tax, spend, mandate, and regulate. But his tariff agenda is an anti-growth wildcard that poses considerable economic risk in a second term. Now, this has been the thoughts of the Journal for some time. I sat down with President Trump on Sunday Morning Futures earlier this month to discuss his policies, and he told me all of that talk of tariffs are just threats. Watch this. You even introduced this 15% corporate tax rate for companies who produce in America and hire American
passed the Inflation Reduction Act that allowed us to negotiate lower prices for prescription drugs. Not a single Republican voted